What's up, honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, love, honey love? I see you. What you doing, Red Sonia? What's up, Sonia? Fat Mama Sonia. What's up, Fat Mama Sonia? What's up, Fat Mama Sonia? What's up, Mayday? Lord Mayday. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord Mayday? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say? All right. Welcome back, y'all, to another week, another episode of Game Dog Talk. And, of course, we got the legends in the building. We got Schoolboy, the legendary Schoolboy, Mr. Richard Garcia. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, thanks. Welcome, everybody. And starting to get hot out here, so keep that maintenance up if you got dogs, you know.
Yes, indeed. And we have the legendary Rastaman Boom. What's up, Rastaman?
Yeah, man, them calling Kevin 78 Sports to the maximum.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We got some good questions today. People put in a lot of good questions, actually. So we're going to read some of them, and then we'll read the super chats if we get any, and then we'll save the other questions for next week because we got enough for 2 shows, them questions.
Yeah,
so
they were good. They were good.
Yeah. Let me scroll up, do a quick roll call. What's that? MU Melanin C, salute. See you in the building. RHMW, salute. AJ, Hugo, Molo Bulls. What's that? Malo Bulls? Oh, my bad. Arrowhead Kennels, Miami Snoopy 305 in the building. Dreadlock, salute. DP Dunk, Lefty American Pitbull Terrier. Grind Mode Kennels. Let's see here. Welsh Kennels Combine, salute. King Cobra Kennels. Let me see here. Kids, Melvin Brown, salute to you. Heist B. Let's see. Prentice Carr, Jeff the producer. Let's see. Paris Jackson in the building. Mark Wonderlynch, Rhodes Kennels, Gullery Kennels. Antonio Warren, Akando Sami Hassan, Lil Rock in the building. What's up, Lil Rock? Arrowhead Kennel, salute to you. Luciano. Let's see here. Jay, Vinny, Sheed, James Brown Sr., Zachariah 23, Banjo Dogs, Fat Farm Ray, Stephen L. the Mac, Kevin Porter, Run 'em Down Dread, Young Will.
Dread.
Yeah. You Run 'em Down Dread. 200 East. Yeah, man, in the building. Let me see here. Woodline, Low Man Kennels, Guts and Glory, Rick Timms III, Hustle Fab. Let's see. R.A. Nixon, Bank Statement Kennels. What's happening with it, Bank? Paris Jackson, Rustic Bulldogs. Okay, salute to everybody here. Smash that like button, y'all. Let's get the likes all the way up. And we're going to move into the first question. First of all, Rastaman Boom, why don't you go ahead and let people know about the brother Mark that's behind the wall right now on death row.
Yeah, my brothers and sisters. We have one of our frat brothers was incarcerated. I think he's been incarcerated about 22 years, and he's on death row. His name is Mark Squires, and I didn't know him before he was incarcerated, but he knew of me and kind of followed me through the journals and the books and things. And he reached out to me. And so I was just thinking, you know, if we would be able to do some fundraising for the brother to help in his cause, or even if it would help out with attorney fees or I don't know what it would do. I'm just thinking, from a frat brother perspective, if any of our brothers going through hard time or whatever, if it's something we could do to just help out, just an act of kindness and not taking no sides or anything, because we really wasn't a part of whatever went on, but we just want to just see what we could do to just help a brother that's been a part of our world all the way up until now, and he says that's what drives him today, is the fact that from the bulldog perspective and the way the dogs have been in his eyesight, allowed him to keep the drive, that the faith that things could change, or a habit could be born. And so we just want to see how many brothers and sisters will be willing to just donate a few dollars or whatever you can donate. If it's in some attorneys or anybody that's in law or whatever that can possibly assist the brother, or whatever could be done, man. We just want to try to help him as much as we can. Schoolboy know a little about him, and he can say a few things, but from my understanding, is a great guy. And then from some of the things I've read from the brother, he seemed to be a pretty good guy.
Yes, sir. Mr. Garcia, any words for that?
Yeah, I know Mark, and let me set this up a little bit. He's on death row, been on death row for, like Mr. Boone said, for 22 years. And what he needs is a new trial. The reason for that is because his case is not normally a death penalty case. If he gets a new trial, it would be basically on a civil rights violation. He's not a mass murderer. He's not a pedophile murderer. He's not a mutilator or torture. None of that. He's not a John Wayne Gacy or a Kuklinski or any of them guys like that. He was in a situation, there was a shootout. A person got killed, but Mark isn't the one who killed him. So it's a murder case, but it isn't. Cases like that aren't usually death penalty cases. And that's why I support his cause. Because Mark understands his situation. He understands he has to pay for his crime. But even attorneys admit and have told him that it should have never been that a death penalty case. Where he's at is there's a moratorium on the death penalty, so that's why they haven't executed it. But he basically needs a new trial, is what it is. And that's why we're talking about it today. There's a lot of details, and I won't go into them. But I feel, because I knew him before he went in, and during, I've communicated with him some, so I kind of know, where he's at and what's going on. And that's why he needs donations, basically to pay for lawyer fees to get a new trial, hopefully.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and at the very least, uplift his spirits, and let him know people haven't forgot about him. That's a messed up situation. There's a lot of rats and snitches out there. You got a man here, a bulldogger, that's been locked up for keeping his mouth shut. That's what everybody claim they want. So you got an example of that, and he being punished for it. So anybody who wants to help him out, all proceeds, you can send it to my Cash App, and just in the part where you put in what the Cash App is for, just put for Mark, and then we'll take that and we'll get it to him. So I appreciate y'all, and we're gonna get to the first question. My Cash App is going across the screen as well. All right. Question number 1. Historically speaking, what style did the panel prefer, and what style did they look for in the dogs performance-wise? And how I handle, well, how important was a cornerman's second, historically speaking? So let me read that question again. Historically speaking, what style did the panel prefer in the dog's performance, and how important was the second in the corner? I can start with you, Rasta Man.
You know, back in the day, you know, you wanted one that had all the tools, everything about, you know, just controlling the action, offensively and defensively, and staying close, you know, to the action, touching all the soft spots, you know, and it just, you know, just real intense about doing it. You know what I mean? You know, and when I say intense, I ain't saying it gotta be crazy, but I'm just talking about intense about its work. And settle fast, you know, real fast mouth, you know, because, you know, it's just like in boxing, you know, if I throw 200 punches and you throw 100, then based upon the heavier punches, you know, somebody start getting slower. So, you know, you like to have one that had that heavy punch, you know, that like that Mike Tyson punch, you know, that don't always happen, but that's what you would like, you know what I mean? So, you know, but, or half of that or close to that. And speed, you know, speed, agility, you know, all that stuff, you know, go together. And pace, you know, you want that pace, man, that pace, you know, everybody can't keep up with the pace, and even the ones that had a pace, they might just stop, but that don't mean they stop because they had the pace. They stopped because the hard, you know, just didn't let them, you know, continue. But you want one that can think, you know, that can figure, that can counter, you know, all the tools of you know, like a Mayweather and a Mike Tyson mix. You know what I mean? You know, with the hard punch and able to be crafty and, you know, elusive. You know, right where they need to be, and finish. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes back then, you know, you might have one be on top, just, you know, doing his thing. Then all of a sudden, you just start looking around. Say, damn, what happened, man? I guess he just got tired of that. You know what I mean? So
that's about it.
Yeah, you want one that's gonna just stay focused, you know, to finish. And the other part of the question was what, Kel?
Was how important was the second in the corner?
Well, it's just like when you watch a boxing match, they got a corner man, cut man, you know, you got all that, you know, in their corners. So if you're gonna have a corner man, at least have somebody that understand all these things, so that if you get in a situation where, you know, you might need to say, hey man, press this harder, so that, you know, that part of it, when you get to the corner, press this harder, so that you know, you ain't leaking as much. But that should always be, that should have been figured out way before you got there, though. You know what I mean? So but and then, you know, on your handles, you know, that corner man, he there telling you, you know, when to handle or look for a action that continues to happen, and then figure out in the break of that action when you can try to make a handle, you know, and not on, and then too, you know, like when you're handling, you got to make sure, you know, you keep your eyes on the prize. You know, that's the whole key to prize. If you ain't got your eyes on the prize, you know, you selling yourself short. So you got to make sure you got your eyes on the prize. The animal got his eyes on the prize. You know, you just got to keep that, you know, because anything can happen that can become a distraction. And then somebody, oh man, damn, it went that way. You know, why? Because you didn't have the eyes on the prize. You know, so a good cornerman is key to, just like a caddy is key to a golfer. Assistant coach is key to the head coach. The GM and the managers up under him. You know, they all important to one another. And having a good cornerman is the same thing.
Yes, sir. Salute TJ Fisher in the super chat. Appreciate the love, TJ. Yeah, I'm gonna be TJ Fisher came back. Let me see here. Salute to TJ Fisher again in the super chat. Appreciate the support. He says fast mouth, fast neck and head speed, and fast feet with the head that wasn't too big, long, with the animal that is hell bent to finish. Salute, TJ.
Good place to be, TJ.
Yes, sir. Salute, Dr. Hood. I see you in the building, man. Give me a call, Dr. Hood. Hit me up tonight if you can, or tomorrow, whenever. I lost your number, bro. Hit me up. I see you in here going hard. Salute, Twin. Salute, La La D. Main event, Mark. Salute to everybody in the building. Ooh, wait, I got a mean cough over here. All right, Mr. Garcia. What's your take on what you're looking for in the dog's performance? What attributes are you looking for, and how important was the second in the corner?
Right. Yeah, I like offensive-minded dogs. You know, kind of. You know, I'm going to repeat a lot of what Rosterman said, because you know a lot of what he mentioned is ideal in a pit dog. You know, so you know, I kind of like what I term an all-around athlete. You know, but I like the offensive-minded dog. Not dumb, but speed, strength, good balance, you know, good air, and most dogs have good air, you know, just by the nature of the breed itself, you know. Some have better than others, but it's rare when a dog just don't have no air per se, as the term is used. But I like offensive-minded dogs that you know, have that finishing trait also. Intensity, focus, you know. The style itself was not too particular, you know. I like dogs that could change up if they had to, use the offense as part of their defense, but if they had to use some defense, that also, you know. And I like dogs that finished in the throat. Not to be too graphic, and I'm talking about the past, because it's the quickest way to shut a dog down. You don't have to be a terribly hard biter. If you can stay there, it chokes them off. It makes a dog panic. You know, if you can't breathe, you ain't gonna live. You know, and at the very least, it'll make a lot of dogs panic. And I had some dogs that weren't real hard biters, weren't hard biters at all, maybe average and below average. But if they could get in that throat, it was an effective hold. And it's effective also if a dog gets on your head. You know, that's one way to get them out. They turn their head, you know, shoot in for the throat hold, It'll make the head dog, if they're on your head or the ears, something like that, will make them let go, you know, because no matter what, you have to breed. But I just like that speed and strength are two things that I always kept in my dogs, you know. They were real important to me. Gameness, that should be already set in your family of dogs. If you do any kind of breeding, and even if you were just, you know, people back then, if they were just a conditioner and handler, they wanted that in the dog that they were borrowing or using or something they bought. So we talk about it all the time, but as a breeder, that should be set in your dogs already. Because as I've mentioned before, you know, throughout the history of the breed, most of the dogs that lose quit. And then you have some breeders and some handlers and conditioners where most of the time when they lose, their dogs don't quit. That's kind of where you wanted to be back in the day, where you would be considered, you know, a top competitor, because it comes into play sometime during a dog's career. Usually, sometimes it don't. If you have fast finishers, hard biters, this and that, that gameness doesn't come into play because it never gets to that point. But it's kind of like having a handgun, you know. You may not ever have to use it, but you want to know that it's there if you ever need it, you know, that kind of thing. As far as seconds and cornermen and all that, you know, I had a partner for a few years. I had my son, my brother, and my cousin. That was kind of the team, and my family members, they weren't really dog men. They were involved in it because I was, and they supported me. They always had my back. But you need a cornerman that a second that understands the rules, from the weigh-in to the wash to the actual rules when you're in there. And you need somebody they're kind of your eyes outside the box, because you're so focused on your dog, or you should be, that you don't see everything. And you can see a lot, even focusing on your dog, you know, with your peripheral vision, or just glancing up, or just communicating with the ref if you have to. There's a lot that you can take in, but there's some things that you can't, because you are focused on your dog. So you may miss something. That's what your second is for. He's there to watch your back. He's there to make sure the rules are followed. He outside influence can't interfere with the actual show itself, right? But your second's word means something, right? He can bring things to your attention. He can see if your dog's fanged. If you don't notice it, he can advise you when to handle, when not to handle. So he can look for things that you may have missed. He may be on one side of the dog, you're on the other side. He sees something on his side that you can't see because you're on the other side. Just a lot of anything that you could think of where a person that's supporting you, that's outside looking in, gets a bird's eye view or outside view that can benefit you. That's what the second is for. And that's about it.
Yes, indeed. Okay. And salute to Jack Mason in the super chat. Appreciate the love. He says, what should I feed my dog before the hunt? Mr. Garcia?
Well, you know, if you're conditioning a dog, and this is with anything, whether you're hunting dogs, whether what we were doing way in the past, whether you're doing the legal sports, you should have a conditioning program, and you should have a keep feed. And the two main things in the keep feed are protein and fat, and then you have supplements. You know, a lot of people nowadays feed raw, and they don't really supplement like with too many powders or vitamins or anything like that. It's in the feed that they use, and there's all kinds of stuff. But you need a balanced diet. You need a diet that covers all the nutritional needs of the dog and the caloric intake that the dog is going to use during the conditioning and during the hunt. And we didn't have this back in the day, or we probably did, but nobody ever really did it. But you can do a calorie count, or you can, there's ways to measure, you know, okay, I'm giving the dog 1,000 calories or 1,500 calories. How long does it take to burn it off, you know, and what's his metabolism like, and all this, you know, that's a benefit. And that's the, you know, you always have to evolve in the dog. And that's part of it. New science, new nutrition. You know, I don't really see a difference in, say, the type of meat you use. Some people use beef, some use chicken, turkey, this and that. There's benefits to it. People prefer it, one type over the other. Some people use fish, and a lot of times it, you know, because the breed is worldwide now, it just depends on where you live and what's available. It's like a friend of mine in Mexico. They don't really have like mustard greens or kale or something. So he uses spinach because that's readily available. So they're similar. There's different vitamins and minerals they contain. So a lot of times it's that, you know, if you live in an area where maybe you would like to try beef, but beef isn't readily available, you know, or it's real expensive, you know, you might use lamb or goat or whatever, you know. It's just the and you can, you know, that you can Google it or whatever. You can look up what nutritional value that has, what protein value it has per serving, and then you adjust it to the weight of the dog, you know. But basically what you would need is a keep feed. You can feed kibble and cooked meat, kibble and raw, and all different kinds. And this is what I advise people all the time. Use good quality ingredients, practice with it, find out what works, and then stick to it. Because there's not one way that's better than the other. There's same with conditioning. There's not one conditioning method. I don't care what anybody says. I've been around a long time. I know a lot of people. I did this stuff in the past. Everybody's is different. Even if they're similar, there's always something different within a team of people, where one guy's going to use this and one guy's going to use that. They even do that with the weight of the dog. One guy would match a dog at 38. His partner would match it at 37. That's just the way the breed is. It's people's opinion, people's experience. So whatever you use, you know, figure out the type of feed you want to use that during keep, and then check the results afterward.
Yes, indeed. Welcome down around, Big Stephen. You in that building, bro?
Yes, sir. What's cracking?
Oh,
there he is,
man. Yeah.
What's happening?
Oh man, they took the kids to the water park, swimming and shit.
Oh,
Nice.
that's good. That's good.
I thought you went on vacation, man.
No, not yet. Shit, I'm still on workcation. Shit. Hey, lucky I had a couple extra dollars to take their ass today.
Yes, indeed. Let me ask Rasta Man Boone, what should you feed your dog before the hunt?
I think that you know, you should run trials. You know what I mean? You know, you kind of like you experimenting to see if what you thinking gonna work. You know what I mean? So how do you know that? You don't know that unless you try it. You know, you try, and whatever you decide to put together, however you put it together, and you just do a trial run. You know, and just see how it make the animal feel. You know, and if you like the results of the way they respond, then you know you got something to work with. And you know, the thing about conditioning is that you know the world is constantly, you know, growing, man. Different ideas, different things, you know, just constantly moving forward. And so whatever you figure you want to use and you determine it's going to be best for you, then that's what you use. And so if you're looking for something and you're trying to find something, just, you know, go in some of these books and read and study and And you know, you got the internet, and you know, you can find something that would be comparable to what you're looking for. You know, so it's a matter of making adjustments, trial and error, and keep learning.
Yes, sir. Welcome down, Ram. What's your take on it?
What was the question, bro?
What should I feed my dog before the hunt?
Like right before the show type hunt, or like during the keep?
I think he's saying right before the show.
Oh, well, shit, just something light, man. Like, you know, I make a little go-go juice concoction that's damn near like a smoothie. And I only give him like a cup of that just so he'll have something on his stomach for the trip, really. You know, that's how I do it. Just concoct some little go-go juice smoothie, you know, the little secret recipe, the original 13 herbs and spices type shit, and just give them that. But like OG Boone was just saying, just experiment, see what your dog take, you know? See how if he could hold it on the ride and all that old shit, man. But if you fucking ain't sure, just don't feed him nothing. He ain't go he be all right. You know, most people don't feed him shit 24 hours out. So just use dealer's choice at that point. You feel me?
Yes, sir. TJ Fisher back in the super chat. Appreciate the support. He says, I'd go to the local butcher shop and get beef, chicken, and fish, mix equal parts and freeze into individual serving sizes. RF1, I think that's vandal sulfate, complex amino acids, and measured kibble. Yeah, TJ got the science stuff going.
Yes, sir. Yeah, salute TJ. That's a trail dude right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get with TJ and do a interview with him.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, that's a plethora of knowledge right there. He cool dude.
Yes, indeed. All right. So another question we got here is if a hound gives you all he or she has for 2.5, 3 hours or longer, is it a cur? Right? He's basically saying if the dog quits after 2.5, 3 hours, is that dog a cur from a historical standpoint? We start with you, Rasta Man Boom. What's your opinion on it?
Well, I had one to give it up in 3 hours 3 times, but I won 5 with him. Now they can call it a cur or whatever they want to call it. I won more than I lost.
Yes, indeed.
You know, so
That's a gambler's delight right there.
yeah, it just depends on the individuals, man. You know, you got some people they you know, some people would say, okay, get rid of it. Then some people say, take it home and breed it. You know, it just depends on the individual, man. And what I found that too many people try to live out other people's thoughts. And what I mean by that, if my homeboy say, oh, that bitch a girl, or I don't like that bitch, okay, that's cool. That's he entitled to say what he want to say. I can say, well, hey, we're gonna take the dog home. You know what I mean? So now, do that mean I'm less than of who I am? No, that don't change who I am. All we doing, we made a decision to take it home. You feel me? So now it's up to the individual. Now, you know, some of them now they get up, and the way they get up now, you know, that ain't worth going nowhere. Yeah, you had to leave him with them. But you know, so back then, you know, anything could happen, and you know, it's just how you assess, you know, the way it happened and what you want to do about it.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Garcia, your thoughts?
Yeah, I always say, you know, what matters is at the end, not the beginning, not the middle. You know, you can't always use time as a factor. And you know, a lot of dogs that went distance, some, you know, the show itself wasn't very good. So it's not quality that you're looking at. Some were real good, and then you can judge that. But it depends on how it ends. If a dog quits, whether it's 5 minutes or 2 hours, he quit. And quitting means a dog don't want to go. If he's able to go and he doesn't want to go, that's quitting. That's not the same if the dog is broke down and can't go, if the dog's too tired and can't go, if a dog's unconscious, if a dog is willing. Some of them will step out the corner, go forward, flop down, fall down, and they can't get up, can't physically get up. I've heard people call those dogs curs. That's not a cur. Some dogs will fall down and they're squirming and rolling around and crying and trying to get up and go. They can't. But if a dog is physically able to go, and that's all comes from your experience of seeing it, having them doing it, if he can physically go and he doesn't want to, then that dog quit. And like Rossman said, I don't judge people that way. You know, I don't judge people what dogs they want to keep, which ones they want to breed, this and that. I have my way of doing it, and I advise people on it if they ask, or I give my experiences when I'm asked. But I don't judge people. They want to have a whole yard of whatever, that's on them. You know, that's the way you should respect, even if you don't agree with people. And if you're a dog man, especially back in the day, if you were a competitor, most people respected each other, and there wasn't criticism, at least in the open, where you're talking shit to people and calling them this and that. So we should at least respect people and allow them to make, respect their decisions, whatever they want to do with it. But as far as quitting, I didn't use time as a factor, except depending on the conditions of the show. It just depends. Like I said, I've seen dogs go 2 hours. They weren't hurting each other. They weren't doing too much. It's kind of boring. And I'm not talking later in the match, because most of them, they'll slow down at some point. But from the beginning to the end, not much. Not very good dogs. Not even game dogs, both of them. You know, it's kind of like one quit and the other was glad he did. You know, it's a matter of who's going to quit first, which is different from top grade athletes, given that they're all going at it. One just hangs it up after 2 or 3 hours. You can't hardly blame them sometimes, you know, because of everything that's involved, everything they go through. So, you know, I don't really knock people. I don't knock people's dogs. And but that's the way I looked at it. If they can go and don't want to, then that's quitting.
Yes, indeed. Walking down Ram, what's your take on it? 3 hour dog.
That motherfucker's going in the curb pile if he at my house. That's just how I was raised with the dogs. The motherfucker quit, he out of there, bro. For real. Some people don't like it. It's just, how I came up in the dogs. I don't care if you quit in 5 minutes or 5 hours. If you fucking could have still went, like OG Schoolboy was saying, and you quit, you gotta go, man. That's just me. I ain't never had no big yard or a lot of space. I always lived in the city my whole life, so I couldn't have a whole bunch of dogs. So there was only room for the ones who would want to go, bro. Not knocking nobody else, especially OG Boone. That was some legendary shit. When motherfucker quit on you 3 times and you still take that motherfucker out 8 times and win 5 of them. That's a gambler's delight. You feel me? That's fucking.
Let me say this.
They're unheard of.
2 times,
but most
she scratched. 2 times she scratched to the opposite corner, and on the opposite side of where she should have went. And that one time she did stop on top, but I just felt like she had something in the tank to win. And like I said, hell, I won more than I lost.
Exactly. That's my whole point. You know, you gotta really be an experienced dog, man, to pull something off like that. But just to keep it simple for everybody listening, yeah, for me, I wouldn't have did it. You know, she would have been out of there, and that probably would have been to my detriment. You feel me? Like calling hard ain't always a good thing. That's just how I was raised. That's just like I say, cuz I was raised with the Crips. That's just how I'm raised. You feel me?
That's right. You're right.
Yes,
But yeah,
sir.
that's my take on it, man. I always called hard, bro. And again, sometimes it was to my detriment. You know, I probably called some real good dogs and just fucking didn't fucking sit on them and shit like that. That's why I'm a real big proponent of waiting on that shit so you could give it a fair assessment. You know, you got a fully grown, fully developed dog that's mentally and physically ready to do it. Then you can really check them and see where they at. Because a lot of the times, a lot of the shit that I deemed was curves, you know, looking back on it, they wasn't ready. You feel me? They physically could be ready, but mentally it wasn't there. That's like how I was when I was a kid. I was a big youngster, you know, but I wasn't no fucking grown man. Get out there and
Right.
try to fight the big homies and get beat up every time. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
just physically wasn't there for me, you know. Mentally I was, and the dogs are just weird like that. So that's why I always preach: just sit on them, you know, for as long as you possibly can. Just let them fully develop. That way you get less curves that way, and the curves you do get really do be curves.
Mhm. The first time I did her, she was 16 months old, and I
Yeah,
felt
see,
like,
that's a puppy still,
yeah,
you know.
she was still a puppy. I knew that. That was that. You know, I felt like I did her an injustice because she just showed so much talent, and
Yeah, so
and, and,
trust me, I know I've been there before.
as she got older, she won them five.
Yeah.
So you know, it was all good though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, these dogs is nothing set in stone with these dogs, man. Anything could happen on any given day, man.
that's it,
You
right?
never fucking know.
Yes, indeed. Another question we got here is, what things should you watch out for when bringing a new dog to your yard, Mr. Garcia?
Well, just temperament and behavior mostly. Health, you know, when if you first get it from someone else, if it's a grown dog and pups too, they should be healthy, dewormed, vaccinated. You know, uh, that doesn't always happen. You know, they should be free of fleas and lice, and ticks, and all that stuff. But getting them accustomed to you, you know, the main thing is if it's a new dog and you're the one that's gonna be involved in its life the most, then you should do everything with it. Because the person who takes care of it, that's generally who they're going to be closest to. And the feeding part is the main thing. You know, they love the person who feeds them because that's who's sustaining their life. And just spending time with them, socializing them outside your yard, not socializing with other dogs or anything like that, but just getting them like we've talked in the past. You know, just getting them accustomed to different atmospheres, different areas, different surfaces, anything you can to that would benefit the dog in just being a dog, not even a bulldog, but just a dog helps. But the feeding part, the attention part, spending time with them, socializing them, and checking their behavior and temperament. Sometimes, you know, sad to say, people ain't the most honest sometimes, and they might have some quirk or some malady or some behavior or temperament issues or health issues that you're not aware of. So it would be like you want to have all that checked. You know, I mean, even if it means taking them to a vet and getting them, you know, get a physical or whatever, or just you know, exercising them yourself, see if they something wrong with the way they walk or the way they behave. You know, if you got kids, do they act funny around your kids? And you know, uh, uh, are they uh, food aggressive or territorial aggressive, or they just, you know, one thing I tried to do, if I sent someone a grown dog, I would give them all the information I could about the dog. And back in the day, because of the nature of the game, I would tell them, hey, whether I send it to Louisiana or Delaware, New York, or whatever, I tell the people, this is what he does. This is what you should expect. This is his behavior and temperament. This is his experience. Look at him. You don't have to wait. You don't have to acclimate him to your weather. You don't have to get them used to new food and all that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but in my mind, if I'm sending you a dog, he should be ready to go if he's at that age. If I'm sending you a puppy, then you know, and most of these people, they were my friends anyways. I wasn't going to give them, you know, something with some health issue or something like that. Puppy should be fat, healthy, socialized, dewormed, vaccinated, deloused, all that stuff. That dog is a representative of you and your breeding program, and whoever gets it, they're going to look at the dog as it relates to you. This is what you presented to me. This is what you gave me. This is what your blood is all about. This is what your family of dogs is all about. So whether you know, and I sold some dogs, whether I sold it and I gave several more away, if I'm giving you a dog, I want you to have a good product from me, because that dog represents me. So those are some of the things you should look for. Just you know, like if you're buying a brand new car, you know, you don't want nothing wrong with it. If you're getting a grown dog, you at least you want to know everything about it. And if he does have some quirk, you know, maybe he ain't the hardest biter. Maybe he ain't, you know, he don't have good balance. He motherfucker walks it. He, you know, he trips over his own feet. Tell him that. Don't lie about it, you know. And but it's just a matter of assessing the dog, see what it needs, but building that bond and getting close to them, feeding them and all that. That's some of the things you know that will help you and help the dog to be the best that it can be.
Yes, indeed. Rasta man, what's your take on that? What things should you look out for when bringing a new dog to the yard?
You know, and years ago, I was mostly trying to, you know, if I was gonna bring anything, was hoping that it was ready to do its job. You know, that's mostly. But if you gonna take one and raise it, then you know you want to have something you feel you can implement in what you already got to help improve what you're doing or sustain what you're doing. You know, continue to, you know, to get better. So many good families of dogs that's in the world today. And you know, at one point years ago, it used to just be like, you know, just certain names that was breeding dogs, and this go all the way back to the 70s. There have been guys that wasn't even known to have dogs or to have a dog, but bought a good dog from somebody and they bred them and have some dynamite, you know, some dynamite pups, you know what I mean, because of the breeding. You understand what I'm saying? So if you decide to bring something in, hopefully you're bringing something in that you feel that's gonna help improve what you got going, or you can help improve it, whichever the case may be. But I mostly kind of like stay with a certain family, and true enough, I've had several that came from other places, but I just like it, you know, to stand with the old family stuff, you know. But yeah, that's about it, man.
Indeed. Welcome down, Ram. Big stepping. What's your take on that? Things to look out for when bringing a new dog to the yard.
Shit, I just make sure he healthy. Everything else, we gonna figure out before we even get to the house. As far as temperament and all that shit go, we gonna already have that already earned out before I even put you in the kennel. Either we gonna get into it, or we gonna be cool when we meet. Same as a person, but yeah, all that shit gonna be figured out before we get in the car. So health is the main thing for me, especially if I'm getting something from like another state or something. I don't want to fucking bring nothing that my shit ain't used to, into my yard. Because I probably I would have the medicine to treat it. But, back when I used to get dogs like that, I probably wouldn't have had, shit that, you might be prevalent in your area. So I might need something like heartworm pills and shit. Like, we don't get heartworms out here because it's so dry. Don't really see mosquitoes, really. Hardly ever.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't got a worm for hook round.
You're breaking up a little bit, Ram. Ram. Hey, Ram, leave out and come back in, bro. I think you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, the mosquitoes in the hot weather like that, or in the high desert out here in Cali, they don't survive. They'll pop in that heat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what Ram was getting at. Yeah, you don't hardly see them, and it's so dry they don't really have standing water to drop their eggs and grow and all that stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, it gets hot. Imagine, and you gotta, you can have air conditioning, you can have in your car, at home, all that central heat, cooling, and all that stuff, but you got to get out sometime, and you're talking like where I live, it can get up to 110 and it's dry. Where Ram's at, it can get up to 120 and it's dry. And people live in that, and you get accustomed to it, and the dogs get accustomed to it too. They're not out in direct heat. That'll kill them. And some, they can die from heat stroke and all that, but you have shade, you have water, dogs will adapt. And, most of the time during that hot summer, I kept mine real thin, not real thin, but thinner than definitely thinner than in the winter, and, they just adjust, I even sent some of my dogs to the South Pacific, and the guy I sent them to, he said that my dogs took to the hot, humid weather better than dogs he had got from other places, and it could be that those places didn't get that hot like that, but dogs will acclimate over a period of time, and some don't, but for the most part, they will.
Yes, indeed. Salute to Doug in the super chat. Appreciate the support, fam. Appreciate that. Hemi James in the super chat. Salute to you. Thanks for the support. He says, some say they will all quit under the right circumstances. So how do you view the breed in terms of levels of gameness or rank curves or ranks of curves? I'll go back to you, Ram, on that one.
Could you hear me now? I sound better?
Yeah, sound way better.
Yeah, man, got this old fucking crazy bitch weather out here. Bipolar as fuck. Mind you, I just told you I came from the water park. It was hot as fuck. Now it's storming like a motherfucker, boy. Storming normal.
Shit.
Dumb as fuck. But
uh-oh. He started breaking up again, right?
Yeah, again.
As soon as you start talking about the weather, they say, okay, we'll show you something.
We'll show you.
Hold on, Ram. Hold on, Ram. I'm gonna come back to you. Let me go to the brother Bakary. How you doing, brother?
Sorry, I'm late here, brother. We just got it from skydiving.
Hey, no problemo. Man.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, Bak?
Chilling, man. I'm gonna go to you, Bak, on this question. It says, some say they will all quit under the right circumstances. So how do you view the breed in terms of levels of gameness or ranks of curs?
You know, a lot of people. There's a lot of people that I mean, everybody should be rational enough to understand that they're not robots. So with the right heat, and if we just wanted to stay out there all day rolling them, 9 out of 10 of them is going to pull up. You understand? So I don't know why people feel like most of them are dead game. Very few are dead game. I don't care how long they've been bred to miss that point about don't care about the pain and everything else. Just go till you die. The right heat, I feel like most of them will quit. Now, I'm not going to say all of them because you do have that small percentage that will go until the cows come on. Now, in terms of a rank, you said, now, what was that about a rank, Kerr?
He said, how do you measure the dogs basically in terms of levels of gameness and curs?
You know, it's funny because you could show gameness in 26 minutes. Depending what type of hound you had on you and the punishment you took in 26 minutes, or it could be a combination of that with the keep messed up and you withstood a lot of punishment in 26 minutes, or it can go 4 hours. And we can all lead there and say, well, that was a dead game dog. Perfect example, I'll use myself for one, and I think Brother Garcia can attest to this. How long did Rascal go at your house that day, Garcia, in 1990? You remember? Was that like 30 minutes, 20-something minutes, 30-something minutes?
38 minutes.
38 minutes. Would you consider that a very deep game dog?
Yeah, that's about as close to dead game as you would want.
Right. So just saying that went 38 minutes.
Yeah.
Some people will say that their dogs can go right off the chain over an hour and give you that, right? So
yep, that's true. And you weren't here for this, Bach, but that goes back to the earlier question. You know, you can't always look at the time limit.
Correct.
You know, or the time that it went. Like your dog, 38 minutes. No, nobody, unless you an idiot, would say that dog wasn't game.
Right.
And I've seen dogs go 3 hours and 20 minutes and be game. And my own dog went 2 hours and 43 minutes and was game. So you can't measure it. But go ahead. I'm right there with you. Go ahead,
so I just need him to use. I was having Garcia back that up in terms of what I was saying in terms of time, because just like the brother said, a lot of people say, well, if your dogs haven't went, for some reason people use over an hour mark as a level of games, but hell, you can get a Rottweiler to get there. You know, so you know, but that's not saying they're game. It's just that's they in a fight that long. But then it depends on the competition, because if you put that Rottweiler under a pit his size, he's quitting in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But if he's on a pit or smaller dog, then he was one of those aggressive dogs, he can go that long. So it's just when we talk about the gameness and the rankness of it, I mean, the worst thing I hated seeing then was a dog that was on top and had no reason to quit. Wasn't tired, wasn't hurt, didn't even get touched, basically, and quit on top. That's about as rank as you can get. Okay? So in terms of and when I'm talking about a rank cur, most of the time I'm talking about that type. Or one that wasn't really hurt and stood in the corner and wasn't really hurt. You know, any dog that could go with really no problem of going is what I consider a rank cur, you know, above other things too. But yeah, so the game is thing, I can't really give you a thing of what I consider game in terms of time. Or, you know, I think it goes with the keep. If the keep was exceptional and they gave you whatever they can give you, and they showed that they can give you all they can give you, then that's a good damn dog to me. If it was one that could go and didn't go, and you know, then they a piece of shit. So I don't know what else to add to that.
Yes, indeed. Rasta man, what's your take on
ranking the dog's gameness and in its level of being a cur.
You talking to me now?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. I was washing some dishes. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. What's your take on since it says so? Some say they will all quit under the right circumstances. So how do you view the breed in terms of levels of gameness or ranks of cur?
Well, I view the breed as probably one of the best breeds that a man can own and put between his legs. Gameness, like was said before, don't have to be determined in time. But there is a percentage of dogs that will stay there until they die. And there's a whole lot of them that won't. You know, it's just like boxers. You got some boxers, they're gonna kill everybody before they get in there. And they get in there, and shit get hot. And you know, the chest might start hurting, or the leg might start hurting, or the back might start hurting, you know. And they decide they don't have enough, you know. Now, is he a cur? Well, man hurting in areas that he hadn't felt before because you're pushing the body. You know, could be the same thing with the dog. We don't know. But if one is on all fours and he stopped, you know, that ain't a good sign. You know, I've seen them where they stand and then they scratch. I've seen them stand and don't even look at the dog or jump up on the wall. I done seen them jump out the box. I done seen them take the count and then take off, you know? So you can label it how you want, but I think it's, you know, there is a percentage that is what I would consider to be dead game. You know, when you see one just taking his death, he keep going, you know, that's what I say, what I consider would be dead game. So
let me ask you this, Boone, if I can, would you consider that a high percentage, half percentage, or low percentage?
It's not a you're not gonna find like a 75, 80%. No, it's not gonna be that. It's gonna be a small percentage. It's gonna be a small percentage because you know, we all done seen a whole lot of them, and we all done seen enough of them to know some of them would have stopped too. You know, but a lot of them we ain't gonna say that, you know, because we honoring whatever our thoughts is and whatever the vibe we projecting. But there's a small percentage, like I said, that would be all night. And then you got them, I say, in between 3/4 of the way. You know, it really boils down to the animal and how individuals feel about what they got, their product, you know, and what they want to do with them. And for me, I you know, back in the day, if they quit and they said, well, I'll tell you what, we was at a big convention, and it was a name breeder, real name breeder, big name breeder. Yeah, all y'all know him and everybody out there do. So when the match was over, he came to me, he said, Boom. He said, what you think? And I sat there to just think about it because I didn't want to make no quick decision to say. And I said, well, let me think about it. I said, now, she took the count. I said, when the other handler picked the dog up, you know, he done won because she got counted out. He walked to the right, the dog went to the left. The guy walked to the left, the dog went to the right. I said, I wouldn't breed him, you know, because even when it was over, you know, if the guy moved any direction with that dog, she went the opposite direction. You know, like a lot of people, when things happen like that and it's over, most people, they running around jumping in, you know. I'm watching to see, you know, I'll just watch, you know, just wanted to see. And so, you know, it just basically up to what, and then I've seen them quit, and Joker said, I'm taking my dog home, you know. I seen one time quit, and the guy said, hey man, ask the man, can I have the dog? I said, hey man, the man said he like to take the dog. He take the dog home. He said he let the dog out to use the bathroom. A puppy growled at him, and he took off running, couldn't catch him.
Fucked up.
That wasn't Champion Red, man. What?
No. I thought that shit was funny. I called him. I said, how the dog do it? He said, man, that motherfucker took off running. I said, did you try to catch it? He said, hell no. So that's all I have to say, yeah.
Now, wait a minute. If I could use Boone on this one, too. And we did this before. Okay, now, Boone to tell you now, sometimes we, the owners of the dogs, mess up and have young dogs out there before they time. And they may be called a cur when we really didn't ever give them a chance to mature. And they do something, then they quit. Okay, so with Boone, he did that. Okay, let me ask you this, Boone, while I'm on it. Do you think Tito's dog was game?
Hell no. Well,
okay.
Let me say this. His dog scratched, but she was quitting. And
she was quitting, right.
She was quitting, and the puppy come out of the bitch that I told y'all about earlier.
Right.
That's the dog I told y'all. I lost 3 with her and won 5 with her. And so the puppy come out of it, and Tito bitch won. But like I said, I turned around and won 5 with him. And
right.
Yeah, go ahead,
Bob. Let me just say this. Had Boone's dog been just a few months older, she would have made her jump the wall because she was on her way over the wall. And Boone got happy and started standing up. I said, nah, Boone, stay with your dog, baby. Stay with your dog. And the dog started wanting to play with Boone. And that's when the dog said, wait a minute. Tito dog said, wait a minute. This one don't want to fuck me up no more. And then she got her heart back. And then Boone's dog just didn't want to go. Like, she wanted to just play puppy. But I'm just using that.
She had her down and just they had the bitch laid down. You remember?
Right.
And she just kind of just set over. You know, she just like the puppy came out of it.
Right. So that's all. I'm just using that too. So whoever's listening, when we talk about the level of gameness or whatever, I'm just saying like he just said, he went and won 5 with the bitch. Some people might have said, fuck it, I'm going home and, or, you know, disposed of it or gave it away, whatever, you know? And Boone saw something in the bitch that he was like, okay, it was my fault. She was what, 16 months old?
Yeah,
going into a goddamn dog man of the year at the time. They came with a champion. And with the first time out you had, and she had her about to get up out of there. So I'm just saying, so I just wanted to say that too, that sometimes we can't gauge it because it's a puppy. And whatever the puppy does, if it does it good, then we can all clap our hands and say, hey man, that pup did a great job because it really shouldn't have been in there.
That's
but
right.
then if it doesn't do good, then we got to say, well, wait a minute, was that our fault? Or should we let this dog get a little bit more time? You know, so I'm just using that part as well. You know, I just want to bring that.
Yeah, that's good.
Right.
Was that drill bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was drill bit. Yeah, she had Tito ass about it. And Boone just started celebrating. But what he did is when he jumped up, he took her concentration off because she looked at him and she wanted to go with Boone, like play with him. So after Boone jumped up, because if he would have stayed there another minute or two, oh, he had her. He would have won because she was quitting. She was turning bad, trying to get out of there. And Boone got up and celebrated, and I was like, damn, I was trying to get him back down there fast enough, but by the time he could see what's going on, she was over there wanting to play with him. And then that's when Tito dog started trying to bite her back, and she wasn't even interested in the dog no more. But he knew that because shit, when he hooked her, I think she was 14 months or 15. I said, hell no, Boone, don't do it. You know, but he felt the weight. Well, at that time, Boone didn't give a fuck. He didn't have to wait. So he just grabbed whatever he had instead of trying to find another one. He just grabbed what he had in the yard. At that weight, she just happened to have been a 14, 15-month puppy.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Garcia, what's your take on that?
You know, there's people they talk about different levels of gameness, you know, and I look at it, it's just the way people describe what they're looking at. You know, you hear terms like dead game, deep game, very game, desperately game, pit game, like that, you know, and those are just ways of describing what you're looking at or what happened or what you're seeing. You know, if you want to put it cut and dried, you either game or you ain't. But you know, you have to assess each dog individually, and you have to assess it what happens at the time, whether it's in schooling or whether it's a show, you know. And there's a big stretch from a dog giving everything he got, and that's kind of the way I look at my dogs. It didn't bother me too much if they quit, if they gave everything they had and they were done. That wasn't too bad, which is different from, you know, being rank where you hollering, crying, running away, jumping, you know, running down the street like Boone was saying. That dog probably, he just had his spirit broken. He was a totally broken dog. He wouldn't even face a puppy, you know. That happens too. If you break a dog's spirit, that's what's going to happen. So you try not to do that. And if it happens just naturally, that's the way the dog is. That's the way they're born. So I kind of looked at it like you got to look at each dog individually, irregardless of who their parents are, what their pedigree is, you know, and just assess what happened that day and at that time and against who they're going against or whatever. But you know, a dead game dog is a dead game dog like they alluded to or spoke of. They're very, very rare. Everybody tries to have dogs like that, and if you're lucky to have one or two or a few in your whole life, you know, you're blessed, basically. You know, most dogs do quit. Most dogs will quit. It's the assessment is in what manner did they quit. So in my world, I look at it as long as they give me everything they had and they were done. It doesn't bother me too much. If they're ranked, the decision's easy, you know. So that's about it.
Yes, indeed. Salute to Smooth Monty in the super chat heavy, showing love, much love and much appreciation.
Smooth Monty.
What's going on, brother Smooth?
Yes, indeed. He says, hard to make people understand that famous dogs we all here are the best of the best dogs. He said, best of the best dogs. Most dogs will be average. Salute.
That is true. If you know, if anybody was to keep track or if their memory is sound, if you've ever been to big conventions in the past, been involved in them or seen them, traveled here, there, and everywhere, most shows they are average, and that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the way the breed itself is that a lot of times people just bring what they got, or if somebody's starting out, they don't have a lot of experience, what they consider good because that's all they got and that's all they've seen, someone else might just consider it average. Like I said before, you know, in most shows the losers quit. Some dogs are picked up and they were gonna quit. That's why they pick them up. You see some that are above average. You see some that are real good, and if you're lucky, you'll have and see a few here and there that are just exceptional. You know, where unless you're an idiot, nobody would say anything bad about that particular dog or his opponent. You know, those things happen. That's what keeps people breeding dogs and in the game and competing and all that. You want to try and have, you know, superior athletes, top shelf dogs, all that. But they ain't all that way. And for the most part, the dogs that are shown ain't that way, you know. And that's just the nature of the game. It's like boxing, you know, you got championship fight, and hopefully they're two great athletes. They're at the top of their game, and the undercard is just, you know, might have a contender here and there, and then you got the 4-rounders, 8-rounders, guys coming up. The same with dogs. You have a lot of guys just coming up, just getting involved. They want to be part of a show, and they bring what they got, and they, you know, use whatever it is they got. And you know, the other factors, the conditioning and all that, travel and all that could play into the performance of the dog. You know? That's why it takes so long, and that's why most of the people that I knew that were the best, what I would consider top notch, they're generally a little bit older, you know, because they've been doing it so long and they have a lot of experience. They've done a lot of dogs. You get better as you age, as you get more experience. That's just the nature of it, you know.
Yes,
So
indeed.
Monty is right, in my opinion. Anyway, somebody else might have a different opinion.
Yes, indeed. Welcome down, Ram. Big stepping in the super chat. Appreciate you, Ram. He says, why me and Bach thought the same thing. Hashtag Red Man.
Well, it's a brother thing. It's a brother thing.
Yes, indeed. Then we got TJ Fisher back in the super chat. Appreciate you, TJ.
Oh, wait a minute. We need TJ Fisher. He's going to come up here and do his keep interview. Is mean as hell.
Yeah,
I like his.
I just told him that.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. We're going to need TJ to tell the story that he got firsthand on that champion Red Man Tyrone joint. He going to tell us firsthand. I think the audience needs to hear, because I came and apologized about that. TJ told me for what? He said what I said was true. That dog didn't run after no deer. So he got the inside scoop. I think he talked directly to Hardcore Kettle Mike. So we're going to need TJ to straighten this out. Have me come up here and apologize for nothing.
Yes, indeed. We're going to get TJ on here. We're going to get him on here hopefully this week. James Hare in a super chat. Appreciate the love. Say, is there a difference between a cold dog and a cur? Absolutely. Anybody want to? I just let somebody. All y'all ain't got to answer that question. Mr. Garcia, you want to answer that one?
Yes, definitely. A cold dog don't never start. It has no interest in, fighting. They don't even. It's almost like they're oblivious to what's happening to them. They don't even make no noise. They don't cry. They don't whine. They don't run away. They just stand there and look at you like, what the hell are you doing? A cur starts and quits. So if you want to judge it like that, a cold dog don't even start.
Can I see something on that?
Yes, sir.
Grand champion Hugo won 5, didn't he?
I believe he did.
Yeah, you remember him, don't you, schoolboy?
I remember the name.
Yeah.
Remind me the breeding and all.
They said he was an ace.
Okay.
They said he was ace. Okay. While he was winning, I was schooling a dog that had quit about 5 times. And so Burpo and Fluff and them, they called me and they said, look, man, we need a young dog that's gonna stay there. Now, this one I had, he probably done seen a lot more than what a lot of people would do. But he finished laying stuff down. He started out quitting. I mean, rolled him 5 times. He quit. I'm talking about straight up, just stood there, looked. But it was just something about the look he had in his eyes just intrigued me, because I said, damn, he looking at the dog, but he ain't moving to him. I said, I don't understand. Well, let me try this fool again. And man, I got him scratching, and look here, you couldn't, I mean, man, when he'd break the walls down with you. Wow. So they came and bought the dog from me, and they was sneaking Grand Champion Hugo in on them boys, and he whooped the shit out of Sonny for a while. But when Sonny started whooping his ass, they started calling him Hugo. Come on, Hugo. Come on, Hugo. They started calling him by his real name. And when it was over, you know, then they said fluffing them rubbed and this and that. Now, it was all good when he was whooping the shit out of Sonny, but what they didn't know, Sonny had been whooped so many times and broke down so many times, he thought it was okay to keep going. So now you can take that story and you can go along with saying he was a cur, but he didn't have to be good. But one motherfucking time, and he whooped the goddamn Grand Champion. Boy, I was so proud of him. I was so proud of that motherfucker. Hey, give me 10 like Sonny. Let them motherfuckers go out there and win the Grand Championship, and we take a first time out dog and run his ass slap out the corner.
Yeah, it sounded like he got tired of getting his ass whooped, you know?
Oh, shit. Now, hey, listen, he used to get whooped all the time. And when he turned it around, I mean, man, he did it with like he had been on all his life. And so I was really proud of that dog, man. But now everybody told me to go on and put a bullet in him now. The whole man, go and get rid of that mother. He ain't shit, man. This, that. I said, man, there's just something about his eyes. The way he was looking at the dog is he just look at him. You know, he just, you know how a porn or something like that. I was like, damn. I said, man, maybe he just don't know how to scratch. Maybe I need to teach him. Man, I got that sucker going, boy, and he went and did us some good, man. And everybody got mad because he came in there and shut. Matter of fact, Hugo died. And so, you know, just go to show you, man. We can be thinking one thing and we could be doing another thing. And hell, we might have something. You never know.
Yes, indeed.
True.
Another question we got here is, historically speaking, how did the past dog men find it best to build that seal of bond with the dog? How to get the dog to get the dog to the point where it's ready to die for you? So basically, how did past dog men build that bond with their dogs to get the dogs to perform at their maximum ability, basically? Rastaman Boone, that's your specialty. I'm gonna start back with you.
All right. To me, it's just like your wife or your girlfriend. You're gonna do everything you can to please her. She can say something good, bad, and ugly. That puppy love in the early days, that shit puppy like a motherfucker. And you know, after a while, this shit get old. But some people do keep the puppy love going. That's a few percentage of them. You know? But with a bulldog, you just gotta just continue to show him love, and he'll show you love. You hugging him, rubbing him. You know what I mean? And there's some things that a lot of people do, you know, have done. But with me, you know, I certain things I ain't gonna do. You know, I'm gonna love that motherfucker, feed him good. I'm gonna hug him. I'm gonna rub him. I'm gonna love him. I'm gonna love him. I'm gonna love her. I'm gonna love her. I'm gonna love him. You know, I'm gonna love my male dog, my female dog. I'm just gonna love him until when I can start saying stuff, they start responding. If I point that direction, they go that way. If I say come here, they over there, and they come running. You know, all this is in the process of raising them up and getting them used to your command and your sound and all that kind of stuff, you know? And eventually you'll become like a team. And when you become that team, you know, you'll be inseparable. Like Bart told y'all earlier, Drill Bit was whooping that bitch ass so bad, had that motherfucker goddamn squawking and goddamn running, trying to get the hell out of there. I said, shit, we got this motherfucker. I stood up, I said, God damn it, we got y'all ass. And when I walked away, that's when she lost interest. So it's very important, even through the battle, you stay right there with them. That was a valuable lesson for me. That's been a long time ago, but it was a valuable lesson.
Right.
You know, so it's very important that you share oneness, you know, with your animal, you know, and unconditionally, you know what I mean? And you'll go, both of y'all go a long ways together, you know. And that's about all I had to say.
Yes, indeed. Brother Bach, what's your take on that? Building the bond with your dog.
My but wait a minute, my damn phone I had kind of lost signal for a second. If I can, just real quick, I want to go back to the cold game, and I'm only going to touch on it. Mm-hmm. First of all the dogs that never started as cold. Let's get that straight. Every dog that never started from a puppy is cold. Because until you start, you can only be cold. Like Boone said, you can't be a cur or a schoolboy. One of them said it. You can't be a cur unless you start it. I think it was schoolboy. That's right. So unless you start, you can't never be a cur. And I don't give a fuck if your dog is 7, 8 years old. You say, man, this motherfucker's a cur. How? Motherfucker ain't started yet. May never start. So then at the point we'll just start saying this motherfucker's a true cold dog. But they all cold until they start. So when they start making a difference between a cold dog and anything else, I'm like, so you got a puppy that act like a pup. Then the only thing we say, this dog act like a pup. But that could say the same about the cold dog, because the cold dog still could be acting like a pup at 5 years old. And they, you know, so yep. And so I always said, to me, a cold dog is anything that don't start. That's it. And when they do start, just like, I mean, look how many people, how many greats have started at 5, 6 years old, 4, 5, 6 years old. You know, every dog doesn't start just because you say they should. So the thing about a cold dog, then you got a lot of dogs. Like I said, the best way I be knowing a lot of times is I got a cold dog is you can put shit all on them and they in there getting their ass kicked and playing. Motherfucker trying to kill him in there, and they in that motherfucker tail wagging 1,000 miles an hour, acting like it's fun in here. They ain't bit back at all. You know, so it's and then too, then it gets into what should you breed a cold dog and what does it throw. But anyway, I just want to say that. So until they start, they cold. Period.
Yes, sir. And what about the building the bond with your dog?
Well, like we just mentioned here a few different times, and like Boone said, and we said, I mean, it's just this simple. When you go in that box, bro, you, like Boone said, you supposed to move as one. Period. And if you in there and that dog feel like y'all separated, you know, then if that dog goes through a hard patch in his fight, he gonna feel like he on his own, and nothing you can say gonna make him go across. Nothing you gonna say gonna make him stay there because he didn't feel like he was in there with him anyway. But when you bind it, you know, and it's just like me in the keep. Like I said, when I got in the dog, first thing they told me is when you do the keep, you lay and sleep with them the whole time. So I never slept in the bed after that. When I did the keep, I used to have the sleeping bags on the floor, and me and the dog is in the living room. Wherever we at, we sleep together. You understand? So we get in the car and ride out. We did everything together. And that's not something I just did when you do a keep either, to start that bond. My bond start from a puppy. And I think everybody who ever had dogs, and especially bred dogs, you always had that litter, and it seems like that one pup will then always pick you to be in with out the litter. And you'll kind of gravitate to that dog as well. But you can bond with any of them, but you're gonna bond with the dogs from a puppy. And that comes with them in the house, playing with the children, playing with your family, and you on the ground at eye level playing with them. And you do that, like you said, the more commands they give them from a pup all the way to grown up, just like Boone told you, they do things on command. Hell, and I'm gonna say this real quick. My first match, like I said, was into the Gusto boys. I brought the dog from Parker, and we took best in show, 1 to 6 minutes. Okay, and the dog was like a circus animal. Okay, Parker told them I had paid to have him handle condition for me, and he told them that if they didn't pick up soon, I mean real soon, that he'd kill a dog in under 10 minutes. And me not really knowing much about dogs at that time, I'm like, what the fuck you mean he's gonna kill a dog in under 10 minutes? You know, so I'm gonna just say this. The dog scratched over, grabbed the dog by the head, and then Parker told the crowd what he was gonna make the dog do. And the dog was like holding the dog off by the head, looking at Parker. Parker said he gonna go to the left stifle and break it. And if they didn't stop it, then he's gonna come back and break something else. Well, sure enough, he made her climb over the back of the dog, went in the stifle, broke it. Then told her to go back to the head, said he's gonna break the right shoulder if they don't stop it. Well, they said shit. He broke the right shoulder. Now the left stifle and the right shoulder is broke. She back at the head waiting for the next command. He said, fuck this, I'm gonna just send in the throat and kill her since y'all don't want to stop it. She turned that bitch over, went in the throat, started to kill her, they picked up. I won that best of show. But what I'm saying is Parker had such a relationship with that dog that dog did everything on command. So I'm just saying, there's some people out here that's bad with these motherfuckers, with the bonds they got with these dogs and the time they spend training these motherfuckers. It's a lot of people out here that will take that extra time to get that bond, and the bond is without a bond, you just have to have a super ass bad dog to just feel like they're in there by themselves. But most of the time, you want that dog to feel like you're in there with them. That's it.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Garcia, your thoughts on how to build that bond with the dog?
They said it all. I can't add to it. Good comments, guys. I agree.
Yes, indeed.
I would just be repeating the same thing. So
Yes,
they were spot on, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see here. Barnstorming Bulldog, salute in the super chat. Appreciate you. Says, what do you guys think of Fisher's Twister Rom? Any comments on that dog? Anybody on the panel?
I heard.
I talked to TJ a lot. He's told me about good dog. Twister, Sinner, Whiskey was a badass. That's a good question. Maybe if TJ gets on here, we can ask him. Go ahead, Bot.
Same thing you just said. Same thing. I heard good things about Twister and Sinner and what was the other one? The nice bitch she had that had a rough mouth. Whiskey. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. TJ Fisher, back in that super chat. Appreciate the support, TJ. Says one old trick is to bring a fresh, tough, first time out animal into an old, worn, 4-time winner. It makes the first time out look like a world beater.
Yeah.
Ain't that what the business is about? Figuring out what you're gonna do before you get there.
Yes, sir.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And let's see here.
And just as a trivia, Whiskey was a blue dog or gray or seal, whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
if you look her up, Fisher's Whiskey, you'll see she was
Mm-hmm.
blue.
What are some benefits of using red cell, and can too much hurt, Mr. Garcia?
The red cell is high in iron and B12. You know, I think it was first used with racehorses, and the game fowl people used it. Some dog people use it. So it has some other stuff in it. I'd have to see the ingredients, but that was mainly the reason for iron and B12 to raise up the blood count. So the benefits are that, but too often people misuse it. They give too much. I don't know if people use it that much anymore. And I tried it a couple of times. I probably didn't use it the right way. I didn't really like it. But it's like anything else. You got to practice with it, get the dosage right. But it's for raising it's an energy supplement, raising the blood count. Too often people, it's like any supplement. You think if I give them this much is good, so if I give them more, it's better. And with supplements, that's hardly ever the case. You go by weight, and you also have to go by what you're feeding them. So if you use red cell and you're using greens and you're using liver and you're using beef like that, you wouldn't, red cell might be too much for because all that I just mentioned has iron in it anyways. So the benefits is for blood count, energy like that. And, if you give too much, they'll run hot. That's the negatives of,
Yes, indeed. Salute to Zachariah 23 in the super chat. Appreciate the support, man. Says, look at old cases. Says, I looked at old cases and seen a theme of rats infiltrating a group. What are red flags y'all looked for when dealing with people that have held true? Brother Bach, I'm going to start with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My damn phone was acting up. Can you repeat that question one more time for me, please?
Yeah, Zechariah 23 says he looked at old cases and seen a theme of rats infiltrating groups. What are red flags that y'all look for when dealing with people that have held true?
You talking about people that's trying to infiltrate the dogs, the snitches, or
Right. I guess that's what he's saying.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's funny. Like back in the day, it was hard to get into the dogs because it was no social media shit. So somebody had to pretty much bring you in. You know what I mean? Now, I mean, with the internet, shit. I mean, it's everybody on there claiming to be a damn dog man. So I mean, it's then impossible for you to see what rats, or police, or whatever else gonna come in the group because nobody needs an invitation. Nobody needs an invitation now. You understand? So it's impossible. How can you? You don't know who's on the other side of the keyboard. And then these people will link up and exchange numbers. Next thing you know, they're at each other's house and never met the person. Don't know them by another person who brought them in. You get what I mean? So I don't know how you would stop it. Seriously. Yep.
Yes, indeed. Roster man, any words on that?
Back when we come up, it wasn't when I would go. It might be one or two blacks that would be there. At the most, 3 to 4. And it was like that a lot of times. And after going a few times, you know, with others, and it started allowing you to, you know, come in. Then people start talking to you, and people start vibing you. You know what I mean? But now, all they do is flash the money and say, I'm a dog, man, and everybody invite them. So I guess, you know, I'm gonna tell you what messed me up the other day. I was listening to a minister, and he said, do you know that they got a Queen Bible? I said, a Queen Bible? Like, wait a minute. Are you serious? So I Googled it. Did y'all know it's a Queen Bible?
No, I never heard of that.
See, I hadn't either. But listening to this minister speak on it, and he was talking about how, you know, everybody getting crazy, coming up with their own philosophy about this and that. You know what I mean? How you gonna change the word of the Most High and then put Queen on it? That's the world we living in. This shit is crazy, man. Anybody can do anything, and everybody jump on the fucking bandwagon.
Right.
I'm still that old soul that come up that old way, and that's just the way it's gonna be for me. You know, that's just the way it's gonna be for me, man. You know, I'm gonna keep on reading the King James, looking at the Quran. Yeah. Then the minister said, Muslim brothers, y'all watch out, cause they might try to change the Quran. But I'm just saying how, you know, people just go to any extent with whatever thought they get, man. It's like some thoughts you don't need to entertain, period. Period, bro.
Yes, indeed.
God made man. He made one man from man, and man the head. It's all right to let your wife do things or lead in some areas, but man, the man's still the head. But we're just living in some different times, and we got to be careful what our kids are learning and what our kids are doing on these computers. Our kids, our grandkids, we got to make sure they're getting the right teaching, bro. Because if they ain't getting the right teaching, and you know, and they thoughts all twisted, shit, you know, they subject to be doing any damn thing. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Truth
indeed.
be told, some of the young feel like the old people listen to King James and everything else is wrong, all wrong.
Well,
And they got a lot of reason for having to say that too. But what I'm saying is, one thing about it, just to answer to the question at hand, you can't stop nobody from getting the dogs. What they was asking, you can't. In terms of what is as wide open as it is now, you can't. But as far as the religions thing, some people gonna say all of that wasn't what we originally was taught. King James,
right.
Quran, none of that.
Been rewritten. You're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, now we saying it's the Queen Bible. So I guess history has allowed itself from the newcomers or the ones before to make whatever changes they desire to make it. I know I'm dealing with the Most High Spirit, so that's what I'm about. Anyway, but with the dogs, you just gotta love the dogs, man. Hard times come with the dogs, good, bad, ugly, whatever the lesson may be. Let that be the lesson so you can get better with them.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Garcia, your take on rats infiltrating groups, and what are some red flags to look out for when dealing with people?
Gotcha. The way my group is set up, I have rules, and it's like preventative maintenance, because you don't know everybody that's in a group. It doesn't matter if the group is private, secret, all that. You don't know everybody in there. You don't know, they ain't all your friends, even if you're friends, and people can attest to somebody was their friend and they ain't friends no more. That can always change. So if you're in a group, I just suggest that you have some kind of rules, like some of mine that are simple. You can't talk about current stuff. Can't, I don't allow stud service and pups for sale and dogs for sale, this and that, and like Bach said, you ain't gonna stop it. Some people say, you'll hear them say, well, that person shouldn't own a dog and this person shouldn't have a dog and they don't deserve to have a dog. You could be right, but there ain't no way to stop it. How are you gonna force somebody to from doing what they want? So I suggest if you're in a group or have a group, have some rules for it. Even with that, I can't enforce them every time. I don't see everything. There's a lot of comments, a lot of people, a lot of this and that. I do the best I can. Personally, red flags for me is when somebody comes up, in my messenger or my email or something, and they say, "Hey, schoolboy, I got this weight." You know, that's dumb. I don't care who you are. I don't even respond. I just delete it and delete them. I don't, people ask me all the time, do you know who has this dog, that, I don't mean to be rude. It's just my way of doing things because I don't know who has dogs for sale. I don't know the current dogs. I don't know what's going on. And I prefer not to know, just for the safety of others. It's not really for me. And a lot of my rules, it's not really for me. It's for the protection of my members in the group. Because I don't have dogs. I don't do nothing. I don't see nothing. I don't know nothing. And if somebody wants to say, well, you're old schoolboy and all your shit is from the past and it don't mean nothing, it doesn't matter in today's world, that's okay. I'm okay with that, because they ain't lying, I don't know shit and I don't want to know shit. Everything I talk about is from the past. But those would be red flags. Somebody talking about somebody want to buy something, because that, looking to buy something, or if you're somebody who sells dogs, just recently, that's how people have been busted. Selling the wrong person a dog. Flat out. They sell them to cops. And that's what they would do. So I hate to say it, but people online, people in social media, they make it easy for themselves and others to get busted because they do all the work. The organizations don't have to do shit. They just got to follow you online. And they just got to, and if you think something is encrypted or is private or is messenger, whatever it is, man, there's ways around that too. Nothing is private. So whenever you talk, just have that in your mind. Know who you're speaking to. And if you don't know them, you can talk in general shit. You can talk about something that happened 10, 20, 30 years ago. That ain't a problem. But when you start even saying shit that not serious, just asking the questions to the wrong person, that could bring some heat on you that you don't want. And for the most part, ain't shit gonna happen to you. But you don't want to be the person that when it does happen to someone, it's you, man. So those are kind of the red flags. Be careful what you say. Don't be too open. Don't sell anything to people that you don't really know. And if you do, let's say you're going to sell a pup. You're selling a pup. It should be healthy, dewormed, vaccinated. That's it. No history. You show them a pedigree. That's it. They want to buy it. They buy it. They don't push them. Don't tell them they done this and that and this and that and the parents and all that. Why would you do that? You're selling the product, and if they don't know the pedigree when you show it to them, then they need to do some research. So just things like that. But like Bach said, you can't. There ain't no way. In my group, people tell me, you might have rats in there. You might have FBI and SPCA and all that. And I tell them they probably in there. If you follow the rules, it ain't nothing gonna happen to you. There's nothing in there that can get you in trouble. So just take it that they're everywhere. They're always looking for somebody to get. And if you don't give them anything to get you on, you're good, man.
Well, your group's pretty much the only one that's done that way. You got your group pretty straight.
Yeah, I try. It's just from experience and being in trouble myself years and years ago. That's kind of how I came.
Well, you don't allow no present stuff. I mean, stuff we talking about was in 80s and 90s, early 90s.
Yep. Just that. Well, your show, when was that? About when you came out to the house?
1990.
Okay, so
30.
We were all hot and heavy back then, and I got out in 95, and so anything I talk about is from that personally I was involved in was from 1995 back to 1978. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's my advice. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the thing about the internet is like a lot of people want to be known as dog men, but they fail to realize that the days of like Maurice Carver and Mayfield and Crenshaw and all those famous people you read about, them days is over with. Like the only way you're gonna get famous in the dogs is by going to prison. You know what I'm saying? So so I don't know, like people, they want so desperately to be known as a dog man, so they do all their little research on Pets Online and they read all the books, and then they come online and start calling people out. Oh, what he ain't testing his dogs on his yard. Oh, well, yeah, let's see what you can do in this. So you asking somebody to basically admit that they doing something illegal, and that's the first sign to tell that somebody either don't really have no experience with the dogs or they're the police. To me,
Yeah.
So when you start talking like that, nah, I don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? If you curious about somebody's yard, ask him. Call up the breeder and ask him, do he roll his dogs and see what happened. Watch he hang up on you, and you'll never buy a dog from a real dog man. So
very true. Yeah.
Do the hard work like everybody else. Buy you a dog.
Yeah.
And and you find out what you got. Like everybody else had to do. And I find it amazing that people, all these so-called dog men online, never know where to get no real dogs from. They always talking all this. Oh, does that person really test his dogs? Or hey, who got this and who got that? Look, if you such a dog man, why you don't know where to get no dogs from? I don't understand that. Why you don't have no connections to get no dogs? So them is red flags for me. Ram, what about you, brother?
Shit, what was the question? I just pulled up to the crib.
It was about rats infiltrating these type of groups and stuff like that. And what are some red flags?
Motherfuckers don't push the old school line. Like, I come up in the 90s, bro. You had to prove yourself to be whatever you said the fuck you was gonna be. Whether you was with the cripping, the pimping, whatever, you had to show and prove. So I still hold that. Like, can't no new motherfucker just walk up to me and say he this and he that. Like, you gotta show me. I gotta be able to check your pedigree too. You feel me? Who you know? Who your people? Where you from? You feel me? That's how we do it out west. Where your grandma stay? All that old shit. Before we even fucking school a dog together. You feel me? I gotta know all that shit. And you can find the same out about me. I expect you to. That's the only way you would remain safe. Now there's some Donnie Brasco motherfuckers out there. Don't get it twisted. But I was fortunate enough to, if they did come around me, they seen this ain't the motherfucker to play around with like that, You might not be able to fucking finish your case type shit. You just gonna look like you done moved out of state or some crazy shit. You feel me? So, but everybody ain't like that though, So a lot of motherfuckers get cracked. They got an old man Harry like that, and they was in there, rolling dogs and shit with him on video. So it's just a tricky game. That's why we always get a disclaimer. If you're out there doing it, motherfucker, keep it to yourself. Then you got some motherfuckers who not the police. They just talk too fucking much. Too much pillow talking, bro. Like, You ever have a motherfucker just walk up to you and tell you about a show you supposed to be on? You ain't never met this motherfucker in your life. You know he ain't the police because he in the setting. You know he respected, but still, how the fuck you know my business? I don't even know you. This is my first time meeting you. Motherfucker just talk too much, bro. Like this shit is not cool no more. You feel me? Like you said, them days is long gone and done for that type of dog, man, bro. The only way you can be famous is if you go to prison for this shit. And trust me, you don't want to go in there, man. There's nothing but motherfuckers in there with knives like me in there. With all the bullshit and ain't with none of the bullshit. You feel me?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Jordan Bogan, he sent the Cash App. His super chat wasn't working. Salute to you, man. He says, how do you properly pick up, carry a dog with a without hurting the insides during high intensity times? Okay. Yeah, Mr. Garcia, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was a good one. I seen that one. I forgot to mention it. You know, originally he was talking about, you know, picking them up by their belly. You know, that's wrong. But just the way the dog is built, you don't generally pick them up that way, anyways. Anytime I pick up a dog, just picking them up, you know, it's from the side. I put my right hand under their chest and I grab them by the side of their neck, the skin, and I just pick them up like that, holding my shoulders. In the past, if you were snatching them up during a handle or something, it's generally from the scruff of the neck. You can do that when they're standing. You can do that when they're laying down. You don't want to really grab them like from where their kidneys are, that skin there, because it pinches them. That hurts, and they may react negatively to that. But you grab them by the scruff of their neck. And even in the past, you'll see old pictures of like one picture of Bobby Hall with Eli Jr. or Bullison or something. And the guys would have the dog sideways like this, and they would have their arms around them like that. I never liked that because it's a potential for the dog to get loose if he's aggressive. Some of them get wound up. They see the box and they start going crazy. So I always held them around their body, up under their chest, and you hold them close to you, and then by the side of their neck and lift up like that. But he's right. You don't want to grab them by their belly. You know, you don't want to snatch them up that way or even lift them up. But it's just awkward to do that anyways. They would be forward heavy. If you did that, their ass end would go up and their front would go forward. So just physically speaking, that's not the way to do it. But if somebody did, yeah, there's a potential where you could hurt their stomach or their intestines or something, just by grabbing them, you know, give them an upset stomach or something. But that's generally how I did it.
Yes, sir. Salute to you, Smooth Monty, back in that super chat, showing love today. He says, internet clout don't mean a thing. That's right. Let's see here. We got a question for you here, Bach. It says, well, it's a question I'm gonna leave with Bach. It says, who do you think was the most influential female, all right, of all time? I guess he says Dolly, Black Widow, Honey Bunch, Red Baby, Missy.
Black Widow.
You want to go into why you think Black Widow was?
Well, who asked that question?
Let me see what the brother name was. I don't know.
It wasn't directed to me personally, though, right?
No. It wasn't to you personally. No.
Okay. The reason I said that is that anybody that knows me from back then and know my breed program knew that I bred strictly Black Widow type dogs. So it didn't matter because so many of the dogs that I was using was coming from Black Widow. You know what I mean? And when you look behind your dogs and see what really it goes back to, a lot of it goes back to her. So, I mean, even the Honey Bunch stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, Black Widow was in mostly all the good stuff. So that's why I used it. I just followed the yellow brick road. That's all. Look at her and seeing what all came in her path. And was a lot of good damn dogs. So that's who I followed. Black Widow.
Yes, indeed. Roster Man, what's your take? Most influential female: Dolly, Black Widow, Honey Bunch, Red Baby, Missy.
I say Honey Bunch.
Okay.
That was a lot of dogs that come down off of her. As a matter of fact, I got her in my pedigree with my dogs too. But no, that was something that we all was kind of riding along. You know, the Honey Bunch dogs, and the Rascal dogs. All them dogs are related. Some mixed up this way, that way, but that was a name that was just out there all the time. But I want to say something about handling an animal.
Yeah,
like you know, everybody got their way of handling. What my way was, I take my arm and put it between his legs, his front legs, and then I take my other arm and put it up between his legs, his back legs, and then I will hold him close to my chest. You know, like, you know, hold him close, because you know you gotta hold them, because you know, if you don't, you know, they get crumped, you know, and they going in a direction they want to go. And so, but when most of the time, if you holding them and you just getting there, they pretty much being cool. And then once they see the action, now you got to go like schoolboy. You know, you got to get up on their neck, handling their head. You know, and you got, you know, once you get in there, you know, you got them between your legs. Then, you know what I mean. But you got them by the neck. You know what I mean. And that's all I had to say.
Yes, sir. Mr. Garcia, your take on the most influential female: Dolly, Black Widow, Honey Bunch, Red Baby, Missy.
Yeah, I got three, but I'll go to one, two.
Hold. Give me a minute, brother. I'll be right back. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. Black Widow, Honey Bunch, and Boyle's Dirty Mary. But I'm kind of with and I had Honey Bunch dogs. That was basically my foundation. But as far as influence, you know, Black Widow had a lot of influence in a lot of bloodlines for the fact that she was a good producer, reportedly a good bitch herself, and the male she was bred to, like you know, DIBO, Tudor Spike, Kearns Lucky, probably a couple of others. But a lot of the dogs of today, including Mayday stuff, which is, you know, it's probably real popular, has Black Widow in it because Mayday has the old Bolio stuff that we were talking about from Crusher, and that Bolio Corvino Eli cross. So because of those males that she was bred to, you know, it was all through Tudor stuff, Mayfield stuff, it's in Carver blood, the West Coast Freddie Jones stuff, and you know, all the Maloney, all the, you know, back then it was called either Spike Black Widow blood or Zeke Black Widow, that kind of stuff, you know. And it's just real. It was real prepotent. She was prepotent, and then her sister is in some of those peds. She's in Bolio's ped too. I forget her name, Granny or something. I forget, but it was a sister to her. So historically speaking, I would say Black Widow. My personal favorite, I would say Honey Bunch, because that's what I had, and because Boyles is a good friend, and she had a record to match her production, Dirty Mary.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And Dirty Mary got some Black Widow in her too, because you know, her mama's Bolio and Klaus blood. You know, mama's red Bolio and Goldie. You know, so Black Widow is in her too.
Yes, indeed. Welcome down, Ram. What's your take on the most influential female? Dolly, Black Widow, Honey Bunch, Red Baby, and Missy.
Gotta be Black Widow, bro. She in damn near every modern dog right now, bro. For real, she was like the female DIBO of her time. You see, she even like OG Schoolboy said is in Honey Bunch, and I picked her for that reason alone. Like you see her in more modern dogs now than you do with Honey Bunch, and also when you stack the Honey Bunch stuff too much, you start losing the Honey Bunch traits. So I done seen the Black Widow stacked up a lot of times, and it was still, real good Carver type Black Widow dogs. The Honey Bunch, when you stack it up too much, it start acting like the fucking shit just push all the bad shit to the front, and only leave you a little bit of the good attributes. So yeah, Black Widow for me. And to answer Daryl Smith question, I just seen he post. I use the goat milk and the fucking whatever fat source you can use, lard, whatever, for before, during, after, whelping the pups to keep them fat. I just use, still old country boy remedies. I go to the butcher shop and just buy all the fat that they trimmed off and give it to my bitches that I'm planning on breeding, have bred, or while they're nursing. So yeah, just shit like that. Whatever got a high fat content, that's good for the dog, you could feed them that.
Yes,
And I would sell that Ford Focus turbocharged or not before you try to run up on me with that shit, bro.
yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
that blood, one of the things, that blood was revered because of its gameness too. There's a lot of performance behind it. Tudor Spike was a hard biter, and sometimes that hard biting would skip a generation, like his son Davis, or I forget the other one. They weren't really hard biters, just real game dogs, but they would produce hard biters like Giroux's Champion Sunday. She won all her 3 under 20 minutes. But that's why people like the Black Widow stuff with the Spike, Lucky, and DIBO, because they were as game of dogs as you would want, and it's heavy in the Bolio stuff, so that's what Bolio is known for first and foremost, along with a lot of wrestling ability and skill and speed and all that. But that's why they liked it back then. The main reason, the mouth and all that stuff, it would come along, but they were just desperately game dogs. If you ever seen any of them, whether it's Tonka stuff or the Maloney stuff, Booger stuff that they have in Mexico, or the Davis stuff that Giroux had and all that, they're just game dogs.
You got mouth out of it too now. The mouth and the game.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But it kind of skips sometimes, some of the dogs right off of Spike Black Widow and DIBO Black Widow and Lucky and Black Widow. They themselves were not known as hard biters, but they produce real hard biters. It's in there. It'll come out. And along with everything else, I mean, it's like Ram said, it's in a lot of dogs even today if you go back far enough.
Hell yeah, you'll see that in fucking damn near every dog today, no matter how it's bred.
Almost.
There's gonna be some in there.
Yeah.
Some
You could say like it's not in the REDBOY dogs, right? But when you cross like REDBOY JOCKO, you got the DIBO there,
Yep.
and
Exactly.
DIBO is actually her uncle or grandfather or something.
Yep.
It's the same shit.
Yeah. Some real
It don't matter. It don't matter who you go to. Honey Bunch, Art Missy, any of them, it still come from Black Widow line. Still
It's
come from it.
Yeah, and if you study the traits and pay attention, when you breed the dogs that got her heavy in there, you'll see the Black Widow herself will start popping back out.
Honey Bunch. I got Honey Bunch that came off of Carver's Amber, that came off that stuff because it came right from the Black Widow. I got Honey Bunch from that. I got Bolio from that. There's the palette. All of that stuff is all the same. No, all that shit got it all in there.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like a couple years ago, I had a breaks bred female that was dead on Black Widow. You know, that's the one I say had a 4 mouth, but a 10 everything else. It was a real good bitch, you know. Real good. Look just like Black. Like I'll post a picture of her in your group for Black Friday, next Friday, schoolboy. You'll see. Like the
Yes,
bitch
sir.
look just like Black Widow.
Yeah,
Well,
turn it
she
up.
was so tight bred on the blood, you know, that shit'll pop up. You know, it's only so many genetics we got. And if you paying
That's
attention and
true.
you know what you're looking at, those dogs will pop back up for you.
Yep, that's true.
Like I'm sure Bach been breeding that blood for so long that he didn't had another Tyrone in there. Y'all just ain't heard about him, you know.
I'ma just say you said that a mouthful.
I'm talking to you a lot. I know, you know. I be like, God damn. And that my theory holds up. Like them dogs pop back up. You just gotta
Yeah.
know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And you know, the fucking man, moment, machine type shit. You know, everything gotta
Yeah.
come together at that moment, and you'll get you another spike dog, a real spike dog. Like you'll get another motherfucking, you know, whatever destroyer your bloodline is based on. It'll pop back up with the right breedings, and you know what you're looking for and looking at.
That's right.
And it's everywhere, and it was everywhere. You know, it wasn't just like privy to Oklahoma and the Southwest and Texas and all
Yep,
that.
yeah,
It went
literally,
everywhere.
like look at Match and Scratch BMW. That's damn near line bred fucking Carver's
Yep.
Black Widow. And them
Yep.
dogs look the part. They look like the old Henry stuff, like Black Widow did. Black with the red eyes, the dark fucking nails, all of that, bro.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they real good dogs, and they still some come out game and some come out fucking with that crunch.
Yep. Northeast, East Coast, you know, Ozzie Stevens had some of it, you know,
Yep.
some of them guys on the, you know, all along the Eastern Seaboard, man. It's there. It just, you know, they recognize the quality, and they, you know, everybody going to use it. So
Yeah, just like today, whatever dog is out now, you know, that's cracking and producing, you know, that shit is gonna be everywhere. If you a smart motherfucker, you'll get some of it. You feel me?
somebody going to want it. Yep.
Hell yeah. Hey, Hugo, it really don't matter if you go grain free or regular with the origin. They both good. You go grain free if your dog got allergy problems, you know. But other than that, origin is real good food, bro. So yeah, just you know, whatever. If your dog got allergies, go with grain free. But if not, you'll be fine with the original origin, bro.
Yes, indeed. All right, Ram, why don't you go ahead and give us a disclaimer? We cooked real good. We got through all the questions today.
Oh, that's good, man. Shit, as always, none of this shit is intended for, nor should it be used for any illegal purposes. But if you is using it for that, man, please keep that shit to yourself. Trust me, you don't want to go to the pen, man, and be knife fighting goddamn every week. This shit is not fun. And all that mean by going to prison is you got caught. And this is coming from a former bank robber who been to the pen. It ain't what it is. You feel me? Other than that, it's Monday coming up tomorrow. Scratch hard into that motherfucker. Try to be as great as you can this week. You feel me? Get all your goals accomplished, whatever it is, big or small. I'm trying to hit 425 on my max this week. You feel me? We'll see how that go, because that 415 heavy than a bitch, but I'm going for it. I'm a scratch, and he's either gonna scratch me out or I'm gonna get it. You feel me? But that's the goal. Set you a goal. Try to accomplish that shit this week, man. Be great. Everybody be safe. And pull out, you know.
Yes,
Cream
sir.
pies feel good, but pull out.
No doubt. Salute to TJ Fisher back in that super chat. Appreciate you, TJ. He says
All right,
two dogs people were terrified of, Tyrone and Freebie. Salute, TJ. Appreciate you.
Yeah. I sent him the link, but I don't think he's seen it. I sent it to him on Messenger. But yeah, man,
Give me
gotta have
that money. Give me some of that money. Give me some of that money. I know you ain't get they ain't get all of it back for the bank heist, goddamn.
Yeah. That money been gone. Whatever they did get back, that shit been gone.
Yes,
Damn, I was just ready to hit you up on the side joint to see what you got left. Okay, my bad.
No, shit. If I had anything left, it went on this house I just bought.
no doubt.
But I didn't have anything left, and you know you can't prosecute me. That shit happened in 1990, motherfucking 8. You know I'm gonna tell my age, but yeah.
No doubt. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Another successful show. Make sure if you want to register your dogs, you go ahead and click the link in the description and hit Schoolboy up on Messenger and register your dogs. You know, Schoolboy, you got any last words for the people?
Just same as always. Thanks for everybody participating. Thanks for the support. keep Mark in your mind. You know, we talked about him in the beginning.
Oh,
And
yes. Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, if you can find it, if you can, you want to donate, you know, it's going to a good cause. And we just appreciate everybody's support. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Roster Man, any last words for the people?
Yes, the Most High is the greatest. Keep your heads up. Stay strong. Bakari, Ram, Schoolboy, K-Love, 78 Sports. Roots rocking to the maximum. Goodbye.
Yes, indeed. Brother Bach, any last words for the people?
Yeah, I wanna say to the brother Mark, if he's listening, I missed it. I really wanted to be here when Boone sent me that letter, man. That drink was kind of, I mean, it brought a tear to me. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that, you know, there's a lot of people that's getting glorified who's, you got 6ix9ine and out here different people snitching and like that shit's cool and everything. And here this brother never even did was charged for and ain't said shit. Still been in
Even
there
on death row, like that's game
on
as
death
fuck,
row.
bro.
I'm just saying, like,
with a
that's what I'm
mouthful
saying.
of it, like,
Right?
yeah, we gotta support that brother, man. Like that's
he
what
a dog. He's a
aspire to
dog
be
guy.
that. Exactly. Even he was just a
So,
regular dude, that's admirable, but that's a dog man
right.
too. Like for real, if we talking this fraternity shit, like that's one
Yeah,
motherfucker
we
to
got
war
to help
for.
this brother out. Yeah, we got to do more than lip service. We want to make sure if we got any lawyers on 78 Sports, because 78 Sports got over 80,000 subscribers. I know a lot of them are for the boxing, and some of them may not care about old dog stuff or whatever. But when we got a brother in there who we you know, we don't glorify or condone any type of criminal activities. You understand? That's not what we're trying to glorify. A couple of us done been places we did a little stiff and stuff, so we're not glorifying that. But at the same time, when you got a brother, there's a lot of brothers in jail for things they not even never done, and they sitting on death row or been killed already in death row or just in fights in jail and never even did the crime. But even so, just want to give a shout out to brother Mark and let him know that we ain't leaving his asses. We staying with him for the duration. You feel me? So
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a letter, man, tell them keep scratching, whatever. Like that shit count, bro, for real. Like that's some real admirable shit. Most motherfuckers would have been fucking told, especially facing the death penalty. Like, and he fucking scratched right into that. Like, nope, I ain't fucking saying shit, and I got a mouth full of shit in my mouth. I still ain't gonna say that word. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Do what you gonna do.
Salute to Fabian Gonzalez. Salute to you for the $40 for the brother Mark. Appreciate you, man. Anybody?
Much love, brother Gonzalez. Much love,
and
much love.
Can I say this right quick?
Yeah.
If as Bach said, if Mark or anybody that know Mark that's talked to Mark, ask Mark, would he like to put some questions together for the panel?
Right.
I may be here, I may not. It doesn't matter, but just send the questions to the panel because these are some of the best guys that in the bulldogging business, you know, the afterlife, you know what I mean? And great guys, Schoolboy, Bakari, Ram, Kevin. I just, you know, I love these guys, man. They real special, man. You know, it take a special heart to do what these brothers doing. And I'm just like a kid in a candy store that they even asked me to come along because I never seek to be nothing more than just who I am. You know, I wasn't trying to, you know, like be so blowed up in my thoughts that I thought I was the only one that exists. I think that whether a brother is up or down, we should always be brothers to one another. Whether we're in the same camp or the opposite camp, we still should be brothers to one another. whether you like the way I look or I don't like the way you look, it doesn't matter. We still should be frat brothers to one another. And the reason why we bringing all this to y'all is we have a brother we feel that we should show some love to. And if you're able, donate whatever you can, whatever it is, $1, $2, it doesn't matter, whatever. You know what I mean?
And it's gonna go right to them. Like we all
right.
get money up here,
Right.
so this ain't no scam. Like
this ain't no scam. Money don't go
we
up.
did the bill for the homeboy book. You know, that went straight to his wife, and it worked because he came out. You know, the next day, like this shit is real. This
Right.
ain't no bullshit, pyramid, none of that. Like, you know, we all, you know, money is appreciated, but we ain't got to get up here and scam. It's gonna go right to the brother for real.
And again, real quick, one other thing again. Any lawyers that are here on this hookup, the brother could use something for appeals and everything. Any good lawyers, he would love to see, because again, he's on death row for a murder he didn't commit, and we know he didn't do it. Say no hearsay.
And the cold part is that who did it is Cody out already. Like, how that work? That ain't even right. You feel me? The motherfucker, he ain't tell on fucking already out. He ain't tell on Mark. You feel me? Ain't nobody snitching, but that's just a raw deal. Like, you sticking to the G code. You feel me? And that's what you get. Like, nah, man. Anything will help that brother for real.
I'm just saying, I know we got some lawyers that's just on here that loves boxing and probably tune in for this or whatever. But if there's anybody want to do a good deed, man, brother ain't got no money, but he damn sure could use a hand and be one of those stories that you see when he get out. You know, it could be one of those beautiful stories. He's been in there for so many years, over 20-something years, and can get out because he didn't do the murder. So if any lawyers on here, we appreciate that more than the money. But anything, like they said, we'll do. All right, that's all right.
Let me say this right quick. You know, this brother lost his father at a very young age. And we all know who's been raised up with a father in their household, how important we felt that it was to have our father, good, bad, or ugly, because we learned some things to, using our heads and our wit and our thoughts, going through life. And so, when a kid don't have that voice or somebody there to say, okay, you got your shoestring up under your foot, you need to tie it where your shoestring gonna be on top of your foot, your pants is falling down, son. You need to put your belt on so you can keep your pants up. A kid could miss those things and find himself just following, whatever's going. And I don't know what the case may be, but I do know this brother got a good heart. And if it's any kind of way that anybody feel they can be of help to this brother, please do. You know what I mean? Because I feel, he just deserved that opportunity, to, be the best he can be.
I'm gonna send him something this week, and I'll mention all this to him, including if he wants to ask some questions.
Yeah.
I know they relaxed some of the rules, and I think he has a tablet or something, so maybe he can watch. That'll be he really liked that. But if he can't, maybe he can send me some questions, and then we can put them on the show just for him.
Yes, indeed. Most definitely do that. So we appreciate everybody who came in with the support, and we'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all for joining us. We up out of here, man. Deuces.
Yeah.
Peace.